guys, so today we're going to do a little bit of a creaky chair, I guess. I'm sitting at what I normally use as my work desk when I work from home, which is honestly a pretty small space, so we'll see how this works. But the kitchen table's full of junk, so, obviously here I have some of my figures. To the right and to the left are some more. So, not too much to see here. I'll try to, whoops. We got guys on the windowsill here, and Cody Rhodes over there. And over this way we have some more AEW figures along with CM Punk. That's the Supreme CM Punk, which honestly I like better than most of the Mattel releases so far. I think the AEW figures got him spot on for as long as he was there. Anyways, first I wanted to, I forgot two things from the Christmas haul, because I had already put them away, and they are Doctor Who novelizations. This first one is the Christmas Invasion from the David Tennant years. And I do love the art on these books. They're trying to do the same style as the 70s releases. I forget the name of the artist off the top of my head, but they do a good job of kind of replicating his style with the dot work and the coloring in the black and white. So that was one of them. And another Doctor Who book, The Fires of Pompeii, again from the David Tennant years. I have not watched the David Tennant Doctor Who. I know that's blasphemous to some people. But I came on during Matt Smith's, basically towards the very end of his run. So like the 50th anniversary special. And then, I watched the first season of Matt Smith on Blu-ray and then started watching Peter Capaldi, who I think, honestly, Capaldi is basically my favorite. I very much like his season 1 garb with that, like, wizard coat. I think it's just stupendous. The grumpy old man in the wizard coat look. Anyways, one thing I picked up online recently I just wanted to show. This is a couple comics with John Byrne artwork. This is Fantastic Four, number 249 from 1982. We have, what is his name? Gladiator. We have Gladiator here on the cover, having beaten up the Fantastic Four. And he's holding the thing up over his head. And he's got Mr. Fantastic kind of liquefied at his feet. And then in a interesting, a few years later, John Byrne did the cover for his run on Superman. This is Superman number 8, and sure enough, he is kind of swapped his own cover stylings here, where he has Superman holding up the Legion of Superheroes in the same way that he had Gladiator holding up the Fantastic Four. And, obviously there's some key changes. Having Brainiac liquefied at his feet wouldn't make much sense, but honestly everything else is basically a mirror image. Even the cape, kind of how it's angled, is pretty much on par. A little crazy to swap your own, or swipe your own artwork there, but I came across these on a Facebook post and had to have them, so I went to one of the online eBay sellers that I have favorited, Newscadia. I know they have their own website. I've never bought through there. of stuff, and honestly, the prices are always good, and they give you a discount on shipping. Let's see, a couple other things I got for my birthday. This is another magic box. This one is, I will have to put a white deck in here because it's so obviously the, more the white mana symbol. It reminds me of the land from, I think it was Dominaria United, right? Where they had the stained glass special lands. But really nice box. It's got a magnetic closure. And it comes with a couple dividers. And then another one, because I had a few of these on my list. This is the red one, which I've just put my Wolverine deck in. Yes, I did buy a couple of the Marvel Secret Layers. Not all of them, because that would have been ridiculous. I mean, it was already expensive. But I did get Wolverine and Captain America. Was that it? Yeah, I want to say that was it. Just those two together was like almost $100. So, to those who actually bought more, I can't imagine spending that much. I don't know. Let's see, and then the last thing I want to look at, short video I should say, is a couple things I've rescued from my purge. I did go through, realistically, like all my comics, and I purged a large amount because I really just don't have the room in the house, and I got rid of the storage unit, so I have nowhere to put these things. And some of it too is like, what would I actually want to go back and read? Would I want to go back and read like like the 90s X-Men stuff where the writing is bad, but you have some interesting image-esque artwork, I don't know, so I had to really remove this Day of the Dead Cat, there's this empty space here. I had to really be on top of things as far as cutting, but I was going through and getting some stuff together for like friends and coworkers, like, hey, do you want some comics? Tell me what to find. And I did rescue a few things from the boxes jettisoning, so I thought I'd show you those. This first one is Superman Man of Steel number 6 from 1991. I've just always loved this cover. It's Superman in this native land, and he's making out with some jungle lady. I guess he's had a blackout is what's going on. And he thinks he's part of this tribe. So it's just a very fun, not something you expect Superman to be doing, making out with jungle women. So I rescued that one. I thought that was a fun one. This next one, it's Immortal Hulk number 4. I totally blanked and thought that this was part of the series that had Arthur Adams covers and was by Jeff Loeb. So I totally shook this on the side because I was getting rid of those. And then I realized, oh wait, it's Immortal Hulk by Al Ewing. And that series, if you haven't read it, is amazing. This just happens to be a variant return of the Fantastic Four cover with the Fantastic Four B team of Hulk, Spidey, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider. So I'm very happy to notice that I, accidentally did that and saved that issue. One that I saved for sadder reasons, honestly. This is X-Men Grand Design Extinction by Ed Pisgor, who we lost recently after some unfortunate online, straight up bullying and accusations that were thrown his way. Ed unfortunately took his life. If you're a fan of the Grand Design series, he basically, more or less invented those. And he was also one of the two people that runs Cartoonist Kayfabe, which is honestly one of the best cartooning and comic book art YouTube channels that you can ever subscribe to, which unfortunately, since his untimely death, they really haven't had much on that channel. Videos that they'd already recorded and not posted yet, and they had like a memorial for him at one of the Comic Cons, so they recorded that. But when I saw these, it was like, okay, let's put these back in the. We're gonna hold on to these. They're very dense. It's almost like 10 years worth of X-Men stories within a few pages. He really packs it in there. A couple other ones I saved just for shits and giggles. This is Marvel Tales featuring Spider-Man and McFarlane Spider-Man, I should say. I remember reading this on a airplane flight as a child. It came out in 1990, so I was about 8. So I just had fond memories of reading this issue on the plane, and thought I would keep that. And then we have the Return of the Justice Society, Armageddon Inferno, number 4. I remember this not being the best written version of the Justice Society, but it is their return after Crisis on Infinite Earths and all the DC rebooting, which is something they unfortunately are still doing to this day. And then, just because it was like, it's just so 90s, this is Hawkman number 1. This is like the savagey Hawkman when they tried to make him very 90s and extreme, so he's like long black hair and lots of pointy things. He's got like Wolverine freaking claws here. Not the best version of Hawkman, but this is like a golden chromium cover. So I mean, this is just so 90s. Reminds me of going to the comic book store in the early 90s, when it was like, X-Men number 1 and all these very image-like looking covers, and just the feeling of that. We had a comic book store in one of our outdoor malls, and honestly, it was a pretty crappy location. The outdoor mall was not the safest, or at least not known to be the safest. But if you went during the day, it was fine. It was just kind of mostly empty. Let's see. And then this last one, this is Amazing Spider-Man number 316. Venom is Back by Todd McFarlane. This is one of those classic covers. So when I saw it, this is not a great copy. It's pretty banged up and kind of brown, but it's my copy of this issue, and this is a well-known issue, so I thought I'd rescue it from the bin and keep that in the collection. As I get, more and more detached from the comic book world, it is kind of easy for me to get rid of things. I find myself forgetting a lot of the comic book trivia that I just had ingrained in my brain. And then also I found that, realistically, if I'm going to go back and read something, I almost want more of that, like that 70s and 80s vibe where everything was kind of bright colors, and an issue would be like chock full of, description boxes, and, everything's kind of wrapped up by the end of the issue, and it's very dense. I don't know, I grew up with that. Like my first comics were from my uncle, and that was the kind of stuff he had. He had like, late early 70s, late through like early 80s stuff, and it was all very fights some guy and jumps off, and then, end of the issue, and then the next issue he lands, he has an adventure, he jumps away, just rinse and repeat, and, I get to the point where I kind of think at some point when I do the final purge, and if I do that, I kind of see myself getting rid of almost anything that's not of that era, I think eventually if I do have to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff, I'm gonna be keeping all those, 70s, 80s issues and kind of jettisoning the more new stuff. Just because, you can pick up an issue of Avengers from 1970 something, and you get a full story inside most of the time, whereas, currently it's like, okay, you gotta pick up 16 issues to get the full story, because it is just so decompressed, which, hey, I like. I think Bendis is kind of well known as bringing that on board with his Daredevil run, and, hey man, I love his Daredevil run, so I'm not gonna be a guy who poops on that, but, it did really create a really wild swing the other way as far as how you tell stories and how long they are. But that's it for today, guys. Like I said, shorter video. I did a lot of magic cards also. For my birthday, my wife got me a Dungeons and Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms pre-release pack that I had on my list, so I opened some of those. And what else? The kids got me some. She likes to buy random magic card packs on Amazon, which are not the ones where it's like 60 rares for $2, which I keep telling her, it's like, this is the worst way to buy magic cards, because it tends to be like they'll buy a whole bunch of like commander decks and just pull rares out and shove them in there, so you get the same thing like 10 times. It was funny, the kids got me 2 little packs, and like the first 5 cards out of 1 were different, but then the rest of the packs were like mirror images, exactly the same cards in exactly the same order, so you could tell what the seller was doing. But some of that stuff I didn't have because I didn't have those commander decks, so no foul. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. I hope you're having a good one. I will hopefully be back on a more regular schedule now that my Sundays are, except for football, they're more or less free.